Greetings and welcome to Pandemic Proof Your Business. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddiq from Atlanta, Georgia. In this show, we bring powerful CEOs, founders, owners of the companies, how they are running their business in these challenging times. And today we have with us is Mike. Mike, welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for
Good
having me.
morning. Mike Padurano. And you can tell that when someone is working from home and they're running a business, they don't look like what they used to look like in the big office. Okay, so let me give a professional introduction. Mike uh, Padurano is the CEO and co-founder of Network Accelerator, the business with a core focus on education, sports, AR, VR technologies, immense broadcasting. He has a goal to use his experience and leadership as a top-notch strategic executive relationship builder to help as many as people he wants. And Mike is a dreamer, thinker, doer, adapt, learn, and never give up. Find your why and help everyone change the world and be the example. Mike, be the example. Welcome early in the morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you accommodating my schedule because it's been
Yeah,
challenging. Uh,
definitely. Mike, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get into become a dreamer and help everyone change the world?
um, I guess it started when I was a little kid, right? Like I always wanted to be something more than what I was. I never had dreams of being an astronaut, so I'm scared of heights. So obviously that just wasn't something I ever wanted to do. Um, I wanted to be a baseball player, but I just don't think I had the skill set to do so. I wanted to play sports, wanted to do those things. When I realized those things weren't working for me, I went into business and I went at 18. I went straight into the stock market as a gopher in an office in a Florida office of a New York firm. I worked there for 4.5, 5 years until after September 11th. They had to let go 50% of the company or 40% of the company, and they wanted to let go somebody who had a family to take care of. So I offered to resign so that person could keep their job. From there, I just bounced around in the stock market for a while. Then I transitioned my life out of the financial industry because it wasn't a good life for me. That's when I decided to get sober and I needed to change my life. So then I went into work at private secondary education. From there, I bounced around to a few other industries, always opening my own side hustles open, always having side companies. Even as a young kid, I was selling candy in school. I was selling slap bracelets. I was selling those EG socks. Middle school, I was selling baseball cards, football cards, or giving them away and trading, whatever it might have been. It was always about creating happiness and helping others, find things that made them happy. And I never really realized that as a kid, right? It was one of those things where looking back, I now realize what that was. I was very misunderstood as a kid, and I still misunderstand myself daily. It's part of growth and just learning, right? It's a daily process, right? We all grow and learn daily. Um, and I've always surrounded myself in situations where I want to make things better for others. And I don't think I ever really understood how until LinkedIn really came along in 2000, when I found LinkedIn in 2006 or 7. That really was a huge motivational tool for me because I started using LinkedIn immediately in 2006 and 7, like people are using it today. I was building an enormous network back then. I had almost 20,000 global connections. I was always reaching outside my industry. I was always connecting with people, world leaders, corporate leaders, leaders around the world that were just making impacts. And then I would create situations around them and bring value to what they were doing in any way I possibly could. I did some stuff with SSGate, a United Nations Development Program platform. I was a member of theirs for a few years. So I worked with them side by side with some technology transfers. I also distributed some renewable energy technologies back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I was also working on financing infrastructure projects. I don't know why. I just know that it's always been a part of who I am. I know this is the longest answer I probably could have given.
Okay, it's all good. Mike, why is it important for you to help others?
Um, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a psychological reason. Maybe there's something more that I feel like I didn't have for myself. Maybe it's something that, I was adopted at birth, so it was a little bit of maybe there's a personal issue there because maybe I've always I didn't want to ever have anybody else feel the way that I felt about certain things. So I think in a way it was always it was a way for me to uplift myself while also uplifting others, right? Because
Right.
when you're helping others, it also helps you in so many ways. And most times you don't even realize how it helps you. You have no clue until you're already in the action of doing it, and start feeling that it's so infectious and contagious, that helping feeling, because it is the most uplifting, value adding thing that one can do for themselves is helping others.
Yeah.
It's the greatest selfish, thing you can do is by helping others and going out of
Yeah.
your way to do so.
That is amazing. If you want to be selfish, start giving. Once you give, you
Yes.
receive automatically. That's what that is. So,
Yes.
yeah, people want to receive without giving. It's a completely the opposite. In fact, you have to give to receive. So, okay, Mike, let's keep going. So, you have seen 9/11. This is a pandemic situation right now, and you are also part of a company where you lost like a 50% almost people lost their jobs in that time, and you switched from A to B to C to an I would call it a serial entrepreneur, and hopefully you are finishing before you are switching to the next thing. You are not a starter, you are a finisher. So here's my question: how to live in a personal life or a business life? How to run yourself in this pandemic situation when all around 360 angle negative news everywhere on everything? You know?
Well, I mean, okay, so let's take a small step back, because
Yeah.
what we're dealing with today is completely different than anything, even September 11th, because now it's a global scenario. It's not a United States scenario. It's not a empathetic situation where people can feel for us. This is now a global situation where it's affecting everyone around the world. This is a situation that is unprecedented. This is something that nobody has seen since the cures have been created for measles, mumps, polio, since the Great Depression, since World War One, World War Two. These are defining times for generations. Um, None of us know what we're doing, so let's not pretend any of us do. We just have to work together, help each other, and do the best we can. There is no more business and personal life. It's just life now because everybody's working from home.
Yeah, it's like
So
business life and personal life has become the one life now, right now, like this. You know?
yes, 100%. And for me, it always was, right? Because I always worked remotely. I haven't worked in an office in a long time. And even when I did work in an office, my main opportunities were always working at home and my side hustles and businesses. So I was always working from home. And that's just always who I've been. And I'm much more comfortable doing so. I like involving my personal life in my business and my business and my personal life. For me, I'm very comfortable with that. I want my kids to see what I'm doing. I want them to understand what I'm doing. I want them to see my why, because I think it gives them an opportunity to see what their why could be and what their reasoning could be, and it gives them something bigger to shoot for than just, an education system that I personally believe is flawed, but that's just me, right? That's my opinion. Um, there's so many challenges today that I believe this really gives us a chance to show our children, show others around us that we can't even see face to face anymore, because now this is it, right? These video calls that we're doing, this is how we communicate now. But this is how it's been, and this is how it's the opportunity for it to be this way has been here for a few years now, at least, and it's only going to grow into the future. This is more of a prep for how we can do things moving forward, and how we can change things for the better and rally together as a united humanity front, right? Because it's not about just one country versus another. It's not about, one group of people, one ethnicity, one religion, one this, one that, against anyone else. This is humanity, right? And to survive as humanity and as a society, we need to be able to come together, lift each other up, and overcome. I mean, Trump as a president, which I'm not going to talk politics at all because that's just not what I
Thank you,
do.
thank you, thank
But,
you.
but what I will say is, as much as we've pinned Russia as the enemy and China as the enemy, Meanwhile, we just received supplies from both of those countries in the last 2 days. So it just shows you how you sometimes, even in the most extreme circumstances, you have to work with those that you don't want to work with to make things happen. Because that's what this does. It brings everyone to their knees to be open to possibilities from wherever they might come. And we need to be able to see past those differences to be able to do that.
Thank
And that's
you.
just that's just one person's opinion.
Understood. Mike, as a business owner, what are the top 3 things you are doing every day to actually run your business life right now in these times?
It's a challenge. I got to tell you, it's with the kids home from school and having them around 24/7, and having different age groups. It's very challenging. I miss a lot of calls. I have to reschedule a lot. Like we've rescheduled this, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
So we have to be adaptable, flexible, and we have to be able to allow ourselves to be. I think that's one of the biggest keys, right? Is to give ourselves the break to understand that this is not going to be easy for any of us. Be flexible, be adaptable, and accept change, because things change moment to moment, and we just have to be ready for that.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So what's the one mistake you think the other business owners are doing right now and how they can avoid it?
Wow. I think, I don't know if it's mistakes, right? So let's just change that word mistakes. I think it's they weren't prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah.
And they're just not adapting fast enough. Too many companies are trying to still do things as status quo rather than adapting to the current environment and just rolling with it as it comes. And I understand the aspect that it's easier to just go with what you know than to do any type of change. But the reality is things are always changing. Sometimes people are just insulated and bubbled from it and don't have to change. The difference is now everyone has to.
Everyone has to change. Yeah, we are forced to change ourselves. Otherwise change will change you forever. So,
Yes.
Mike, you are on Pandemic Proof Your Business show. What would you say to your best friends about Pandemic Proof Your Business show when I'm not there?
My best friends. Be adaptable, accept change, know that everything is just going to have to be constantly changing more than ever before. Be creative and find ways to survive. Getting rid of people is not the answer, but finding ways to be honest and talk to your people, and maybe doing company-wide cuts and pay cuts or furloughs or something to where they still get benefits, because at the end of the day, getting rid of people is not the solution. It's got to be more creative, and we've got to find ways to raise up and overcome together rather than trying to create separation.
Wonderful, wonderful. Mike, as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
Through every dark time comes the brightest moments. Let's find ways to come together, lift each other up, and overcome.
Okay. Okay, overcome. Thank you so much, Mike Padurano. I'm showing up on Pandemic Proof Your Business show on the behalf of Pandemic Proof Your Business and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Sadiq signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. All good wishes.
Thank you, Mohammed.